It was up by 26%.
Minus 2,000 something? Or close to it?
2,300.
No, not from the,
Oh.
not from the adopted budget. From
The
4,200.
Medicare expense, $2,081.78. Medical services.
20,000.
20,000.
Yep.
What'd I say?
2,000.
2,000.
Oh, I'm sorry.
20,000.
Yep, 20,000.
One way to keep your budget down.
Medical services and supplies, $169,572 for a savings of $20,428.
Let's talk about that, Jason. Does that include the two doctors? Is that where they show up on this
Yes, sir.
budget? You've had, what, 1 month experience with them so far, or 2?
We've had 2 months of experience with them.
And how's it going?
Good so far. Fantastic.
You are happy with them?
Yes.
They are doing a good job?
Yes. Just to kind of give you a quick overview, typically we've had a medication bill on average between $6,000 and $7,000. Starting a month. Starting last month, they reduced that to about $3,000. We had $2,000 worth of credit, so our October bill was just over $1,000. But I'd say typically it's going to be to about $3,000. We had one inmate on pretty extensive medication costs get released, so that was part of it. But the other part was they're really looking at the medication and prescribing to what is comparable for our institution.
So, excuse me, Jay, so the reduction is both changing medications for inmates and changing the brand of the medication?
Yes.
And has that resulted in any downside in any way?
No.
Nobody's gonna sue us because they're not getting their medicine?
No, everything that they're doing is completely medically appropriate.
Have you been able to access them whenever you want them?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
That's been a positive?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And if we leave a page for them, they're calling back within 5 minutes.
Oh, good.
So it's been fantastic. I know the medical staff are greatly appreciative of their efforts. And I know come July of 2012, we'll be looking at our medication vendor and looking to make a change because we can find our medication at a cheaper rate. So,
Is that through these two doctors?
no, that's just from me going out and talking with other vendors.
Okay.
Yep.
And basically, the doctors found that we were over-medicating our inmates.
That's why I asked if it ended up in any downside, whether anybody's complaining they didn't get their medication that they had before. Go ahead, Jason.
Under mental health, we're increasing it to $44,088, and that is to cover 2 contracts that we have with Northern Human Services. One contract is for mental health counts or screening and assessments, and the other piece of that contract is for a psychiatrist to come in twice a month and do psychiatric reviews of the inmates that he's referred.
So that's where that mental health comes. Up top, we had 66,000. Down here, we got 44,000
Right, so-
savings.
So it's a reduction basically to 20,000.
Reduced it by 66, but then we increased it by 39, so it's a net gain of 20, right? Is that what I'm,
I say it's a
22.
less.
yeah, to us, it's a net gain because it's lower,
Yep.
lower by 20.
Yep.
22.
Under inmate programs, we have a service contract with Northern Human Services to provide monthly substance abuse classes. And then we're also budgeting for anger management to be offered on a quarterly basis. And we do our GED program through the intranet to a website, secure website. And we can offer our GED at a much cheaper rate.
Is that where the 16,000 reduction comes, basically?
Correct. Other fees and services, it's an increase of $2,412 to $52,748, and that covers all of our service contracts, legal fees.
Jason, why legal fees? Aren't they covered by the county itself?
No,
No. Like in a situation that we're in right now with the union negotiations, all those are
Oh,
legal
that,
fees.
that type of lawyer, not a liability case with an inmate.
To some degree, some of it won't be covered. If it's not covered by Primex, then the county attorney will handle it. But yeah, then it doesn't come out of that, I'm sorry.
Okay,
But mostly that is all employment-related fees.
okay.
And then last year, we had dealt with the wall issue. So all those fees are associated to that. Let's see. Academy 0, pre-release 0, office supplies $5,600 for a savings of $27.86.
Why? I mean, if you can do that this year, why couldn't you do that last year?
Well, last year, I remember I budgeted for those, the
Chairs.
office chairs, the
Yeah,
replacement
that's
office
right,
chairs.
That's right, yeah.
And plus, we had moved to a contract with Porter Office Machine,
Yep.
so we don't have to buy so much ink and things of that nature for our printers. Dues licenses and subscriptions, $24.59 for a savings of $229. Postage, we're dropping down to $1,200.
You take into account the postage increase after the first of the year?
What's that?
It's a postage increase after the first of the year, was that taken into account?
Was not, but I wouldn't look to increase it. We've only spent, as of September, $761.
that might be a little bit low. You're right. If the postage went up, and if you look back of the years, it was higher than 1,200. So maybe a little low.
Other supplies, it was just reduced to $15,224.
It was reduced to what, Jason?
$15,224.
Maybe I'm on the other.
Rather than what's in there now, the 1847,
So it's the same thing?
Yep.
it's 15 what?
224.
That's
Oh,
what
same as it was for 2011.
Same thing, flat, okay.
But there's no increase.
Supplies from the nursing home, $6,278.90.
Let me ask you a question, what was taken out
Out of,
on other supplies to bring it down?
Okay. Well, I was just informed that it was reduced this morning, so, from what I had proposed. So, I can't answer that question, sir.
Can anybody answer it?
we felt it was too expensive. We wanted to reduce the budget. If you looked at his budget, it's up 5.8%. And somewhere we had to get it down to close to 1 or 2%.
So you didn't cut out anything specific?
No,
Okay.
The chaplain stays the same at $1,500. Meals, $234,360.
The last time we were over there, when we went through that little tour, when we were standing in the kitchen, you had mentioned that you had gotten some information that it would cost, how much it would cost if you did your own meals and took care of it by yourself down there.
Correct.
And it was only a couple of thousand, maybe 10 or 15,000 different from what you were paying, but now this is up another 10. from last year.
Right.
Have you thought about that again?
I looked at that, the company has, was gonna do another cost analysis, because I had increased the inmate days to 60 per day rather than the 50, because we've been running mid-50s to low 60s. So he was gonna get back to me on that, and I haven't heard back from him. I can follow up with him, though.
Jason, what about the number of people you're feeding? I remember back years ago, the discussion, your men couldn't leave, the women couldn't leave the place, so you had to,
We feed the
we
staff.
we feed the, how many of you figured for meals in here?
It is, what do you mean? How many of
Your help, how many meals?
I did a monthly total of, I think it was 800 meals per month for the staff.
How does that work out?
Yeah, it was 800, it was 800 meals per month for the staff.
Well, they don't all eat 3 meals here, do they?
Well, we have the 2 shifts, so there's meals for each shift. From the number
I mean,
that.
they don't eat before they come in? And so they only need 1 meal while they're here, and or they eat
Well,
before
they
they get, when they get here?
12-hour shifts.
Yeah, we run 12-hour shifts. So
Not
like
8.
the day shift, they're here for lunch and dinner.
Okay.
And then the evening shift has breakfast. And then they have a lunch that's provided at night for them. So it was,
So basically, they're getting, the help is getting, when working, you're getting 2 meals a day.
yes,
Okay. And that works out to 800 a month?
that,
Wow.
Do they get the same food that the nursing home gets?
they get the same food that the inmates get. So whatever we have for
But the inmates
service.
don't get the same food as the nursing home?
Yes.
No.
Why not?
They get very close to it. There might be some leftovers involved in that, but it's pretty close to being the same.
Do the officers pay anything at all for these meals?
No, sir.
No.
They can't leave their post, really. We don't have enough people. Did you figure in or drop it down the number of correctional officers?
Yes,
You did?
yes,
Okay.
I had budgeted 11,
Okay.
and then it's down to 8.
And your employees cannot bring their own meals to work?
I'm sorry, ma'am?
They cannot bring their meals to work? They
They-
cannot bring their food to work, like a sandwich or salad?
They can.
Oh, okay.
Where do we stand currently? In my tenure here, we've fed the union members at the nursing home, then we didn't feed them, and where are we? Are we doing the same thing for both?
We're
of them?
feeding them. We're feeding them. Way back, when I was first a commissioner, Brenda Presby was chairman, and in her negotiation, she changed
Yeah.
it so that they had to pay for them.
Right.
Representative Chandler got all upset because he felt they should be getting a free meal. So we went back to free meals for them because they really can't leave either.
Right.
Now, with the cafe that's there, they can buy their meal through the cafe, anything extra that's not fed to the residents.
So who gets the meals, free meals?
Everybody in the nursing home
Everybody in the
Yeah.
nursing home.
and everybody in the jail.
Yep.
And that's it.
This includes the administrative staff and everybody.
Yep.
Does anybody
You're getting a
know
free
what
meal
that costs
today.
the county? Does anybody know what that costs the county a year? I mean, most people working, I can understand they can't go out, but that doesn't prevent them from bringing their own meals in or paying the meals that they're served them. The average working taxpayer has to buy his meal, whether he's in or out. What does it cost the county, excuse me, how much is the county spending to, on free meals? For
A lot.
A lot. It's $3.15 a meal times 800 is,
Just
that's
for the jail.
2,400 right there.
A month,
I think
just for the
Month.
jail. And what's it cost for the nursing home?
Right.
To answer that